Due not only to J.K. Rowling's tweets and her controversial views on gender ideology, the Harry Potter series that's in development at HBO Max is mired in controversy, and it seems to only be getting worse as they're finally making some casting announcements. There are rumors that they are planning to race swap Snape in the series with an African actor I have never heard of named... you care to pronounce this?
Yeah, it's Papa Essiedu.
And he was in the Anne Boleyn show,
yes,
actually, where they notoriously race swapped Anne Boleyn with Cynthia Erivo, right?
Yes, yeah.
So he's not a stranger to that type of controversy either. But he has been offered the role as reported by Hollywood Reporter.
That is the most important thing here, guys, is these are reports from places like Variety and the Hollywood Reporter. And I do want to point out early on that one of the most common explanations for something like this would be a press release leak from an agent to try and put pressure on a studio to make this casting call because it's already been put out there. Or it could also be the studio leaking the information to look and see what the public response would be to this. As we know, the way that you're going to get away with this would only be if it was an actor of such name recognition that it could blot out all of the talk about race swapping one of the most important characters in the show. We know that the internet is going to collectively turn its nose up at this because they're not going to want it. J.K. Rowling's properties are already mired in constant controversy, and I do mean constant controversy given her political beliefs, not even her political beliefs, her one political belief that disagrees with anything. That's okay.
We just got a 20 from DJ. Thank you for the sticker.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think you're right that this is either a test for public response from Warner Brothers, or it's Essiedu's agent dropping this info to the media and seeing if Warner Bros. Is going to take the bait. Either way, since they have seen an overwhelmingly negative response from the fans, they should run from that decision.
Yes.
Obviously, this is a terrible idea.
I laugh because Snape is described as greasy-haired, sallow-skinned, hook-nosed, a genuinely unpleasant figure to be around. This actor does not have sallow skin, and it's not gonna work, guys. And here's the other thing.
It's gonna work because they don't care.
No, right. they have to care. First of all, these companies do not have the money to not care anymore. I truly do believe that. So one of the things that's going on right now, Jeff Bezos, David Zaslav are talking about how they're excited about Trump's presidency because it can allow them to operate more freely in an economic fashion, right? So they don't have the money right now to get this wrong, in my opinion. Also, as far as the actor goes, following up Alan Rickman is just a really, really hard thing to do.
What I'm worried about is that this is some kind of ploy, that they're using a race swap as a shield because this series is attached to J.K. Rowling, who is definitively not approved by the woke crowd.
Yes.
So they're going to overdo all of the woke stuff in the show to counteract that perception, so it's not seen as aligned with her as strongly.
Then they're disconnected from reality. If that's what if the point is that you're going to cater to the people online for that, then it's not going to work long term. This will not win you back the people that dislike J.K. Rowling.
No.
It will not. And it's going to anger the people that are terminally online and do care about this stuff. And the regular fans are just going to go, huh?
Why is Snape black now? That doesn't make much
sense. The normie,
sense.
look, and that is one of J.K. Rowling's best traits. Despite all of her Twitter talks, everything that she discusses about transgender issues, she has kept Harry Potter, for the most part, a loved franchise among normies. This allows normiedom to be affected by the culture war in a way that could hurt you as far as profitability goes.
We have 20 Canadian dollars from Mr. Moose Knuckle. Every average normal person to Hollywood, could you not race swap established characters for 5 minutes?
No.
Clearly not.
Look,
They're not capable of
I
doing
agree.
that.
I see 16-bit in the chat, and I would have agreed with. I said it yesterday. If Adam Driver could pull off a British accent, he might be the closest you're going to get to young Snape.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I don't think maybe they do this. Maybe they just dub his voice. That what do they just like? Hey, talk in a normal American voice, and we'll get another British actor to do dub the lines.
Give Adam Driver a dialect coach; it'll be fine.
Also, the other thing that I thought about, I tweeted about it earlier. I said, you know what they're thinking about right now? After that Snow White trailer, how are you going to cast those goblins? Huh?
Right.
Are we getting CGI goblins this time? Or are we going to get actual actors?
People were even trying to hedge and run cover for Peter Dinklage after the CGI dwarves were seen in the trailer. They were like, some people were reiterating the fact that this was Peter Dinklage's fault.
Yep.
Because he said that it's backwards and regressive to put little people in roles that are in the fantasy genre for some reason. And they were trying to say, like, no, Peter Dinklage was just pointing out this, like, really nuanced, this really, like, they were trying to point out the nuance in Peter Dinklage's criticism of that. There was no nuance. He literally just said that it's evil and backwards to cast dwarves as dwarves.
Yep.
But once again, I do think J.K. Rowling is the type of lib who would be on board with race swaps in the first place, and we do know that she is deeply involved with the writing and the casting for this show. So,
well, I don't know about writing. She was deeply involved in the casting and the hiring of the writer and the showrunner.
Yes. So, if this rumor has any truth to it, I don't discount the possibility that this is J.K. Rowling signing off on it.
Yeah.
People forget that.
I would
she's a transphobe. She's still a lib through and through. Always has been, probably always will be.
So Ryan Cannell said he does point. He goes, Dean Thomas, Lee Jordan, Angelina Johnson, and Kingsley Shacklebolt are black. Snape is white. They're not going to adhere to those rules unless they're smart. They're going to just cast the way that it looked in the books. I don't know if they're going to. But then you get these takes, which I find to be the absolute most bonkers. This says, hot take, I actually am against casting non-white people to play popular fictional characters until these studios have actionable plans to protect black people cast in these roles. I do not enjoy experiencing the digital lynching that occurs every 3 months as a cast is announced. To which I would ask you...
Did I just hear the words digital lynching?
Yes. I want to ask, in all fairness, what does that type of protection from the studios actually look like in its execution? Like, how do you actually do that? Like, I get what you're saying, but other than telling them to grow up, be adults, and hire a therapist if you need one, what do you mean by that?
What was Amanda Stenberg expecting from Disney to protect her fifis? Or the chick who played Mother Alice, what is it? What was her name in The Acolyte? Alicea. Mother Alicea in The Acolyte did this interview like a month ago saying that she is mad at Disney for not protecting her, but she didn't really explain what she meant by that.
And here's why you don't placate to this type of narrative, because this is 2 down from that person's post where he just also says F J.K. Rowling.
Okay, so we know what you really think.
Yes.
Or kind of saying the quiet part out loud.
This is what he goes on to say. I'm no expert, but I would have a plan to hire diverse staff so actors feel safe on set, meaning you can only feel safe around people that look like you. Recruit counselors to help actors manage the backlash, and take public stances as a studio in support of the casting and anti-racism. Basically, don't let them navigate it alone. You have infantilized an entire generation of adults who should be able to handle these things on their own. Now, if you want to talk about having sitting the kids down who get hired to be on this show, and especially the kids and their parents, and inform them what it's going to be like to be hired to be on a show of this caliber, of this size, with an internet audience that is this volatile, I understand that. That makes perfect sense to me. But adult actors have to make these decisions for themselves. It is a sad fact of the connected world we live in now digitally that you are no longer shielded from the opinions of others, and you don't get to take IP of this magnitude and expect it to both make gazillions of dollars and have like a negligible footprint as far as online discourse. That's not how it works.
The sad truth of the matter is, for the children who will be cast in this show, they don't have to be worried about toxic fans online. They don't have to be worried about toxic people on Twitter. They actually need to be worried about the journalists who they will be interacting with while doing press for this show. Because the journalists are incentivized to corner any of the talent into making statements about politically and socially divisive issues like gender ideology. They will be expecting actual 11-year-old children to answer for the views of J.K. Rowling.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.